Good morning. I'm just leaving the Allentown shelter, but with no coffee and only half of, well, really like a quarter of my water bottle. 1/4, yeah. I didn't want to go all the way down to the water last night when I got in. Oh my gosh, it was kind of crazy. My feet feel crazy. But basically, when I got to the shelter, there were three guys in there. One was asleep. Two were just getting in as well. So we were chatting a little bit, but it honestly kind of had like a weird smell in there. It could definitely just be like hiker smell. And so, but I'm just like really, I don't know. I noticed it, and then there wasn't a whole lot of room like I was thinking, and so then I went and looked at the tent pads because the stars were out and beautiful, so I was like, oh, I'll just cowboy tonight and it'll be great. So I take my my ground sheet and my foam mat, and I take them down to this tent pad, this flat area that I picked out. And as soon as I sit down and start well, I don't know, I sat down and I took off my shoes, and then immediately it sounded like it started to rain. And I was like, wait, is it raining? Because sometimes you'll hear the rain before you'll feel it, like on the leaves, you know? So I'm like, oh, is it raining? And so I was looking around, and I was like feeling for water. I didn't see any drops. I didn't feel any drops. So then all of a sudden, it just sounded like tiny, tiny little drops. And then I looked at my ground sheet, and it was starting to get covered in tiny little pepper flakes. Those pepper flakes were bugs. And I was like, oh my God. And it was like thousands of them. Like it was just all of a sudden, there were like my ground sheet just started filling up with these bugs. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Because it's already so late. So like I think it was like 10 p.m. by the time I was like, oh my God, I got to get out of this dirt patch. And so then I went back into the shelter. I like shook off my ground sheet. Thankfully, I hadn't pulled anything on my pack yet. Just put my shoes back on, shook the ground sheet, and just put it back in the shelter. So I did end up sleeping in the shelter, and I didn't see any more of those bugs when I was in the shelter, so that's good. Maybe like one of them, but I don't know what they were. They're literally as small as a pepper flake, like like black pepper, ground pepper, not hot pepper, ground black pepper. They were tiny. So that just made me feel so uncomfortable. Like, oh my God, are they gonna come in the shelter? Are they gonna get in my sleeping bag and in my clothes and my hair? And I don't know. Eventually, I just I put on my pajamas, I got everything out, and I just went to sleep. So yeah, I didn't make a real dinner, but since I had that like town lunch yesterday, that felt pretty good. Like I didn't feel too hungry, and now this morning, probably gonna have a Pop-Tart. But the thing is in 4 miles, which depending on the rocks, should be like less than 2 hours, I should be able to get coffee, charge, and a small resupply, and more water. So I'm going to stretch this 1/3 water that I have for literally 2 hours or 4 miles. So we'll see how the rocks are and how my feet feel. I'm trying this like foot pad thing. My feet just feel like they need some TLC, and I need to do something about it. So, okay, let's get into today. Okay, I made it to the road where the lookout hostel is. Thankfully, there's this guard, and there's a tiny path on the other side of the guard. on this like road walk over to the lookout. I'm already like pretty much there. So the traffic is scary and loud, but it's really short. And there's this path. So that's really nice. Yay, I made it. Wow, look at this view. So good. Oh. Okay, look how cute this place is. So adorable. Quick little view. Amazing resupply here at the lookout. Okay, so I've been at the lookout hostel for almost 2 hours now. But I got all charged up. I got resupplied for 2 days. Well, for the rest of today and all of tomorrow. Decided to stay in a hostel in Delaware Water Gap. So that's 50 miles from here. 54 then for these 2 sections because I've gone 4 already today. So I think it's good. A little bit on the low mile side, I guess, depending on how many I do today, but it is rocky. It would be nice to sleep in a bed. So I reached out to the Old Yellow Hostel and I'm gonna stay there. So Yard Sale and Glenn have been so nice, so welcoming. They made me eggs and we got to chat, and I met I met Yard Sale in 2023, and just hanging out here has been great. So definitely recommend the Lookout Hostel at mile, I think 1247 around there. It's right off the road, only like 0.1 down. You guys saw how close it was. So I did a lot of foot stuff. So I keep forgetting to pull out the camera while I'm doing these things, but yeah, I had coffee, I journaled, I caught up with 3 hikers that hiked out of here this morning, and then Yard Sale and Glenn came, and then we had like some breakfast and talked while I was looking at the map, kind of trying to plan my day, plan everything, and then I did some foot reconstruction. I put duct tape over my over my toe pads. Honestly, just the break, like having a few hours off today feels really, really good, where I just got to sit down and have coffee, and now I'm gonna do more miles the rest of the day. So let's go say bye to Yard Sale and Glenn are outside, so I'm gonna say bye and then get on the road. So kind of close to the highway, but look at this view. So nice. It's really awesome. Okay. Made it back to the AT. It's so bizarre to, be right next to big semis and stuff when after you're in the woods for so long. I bet I can even see the lookout from here, maybe. Maybe not. What a gorgeous day. Oof, so nice. It's ridgeline walking. Rocks aren't so bad right now. Yay. Some more power line views. Can't believe I'm just in the middle of Pennsylvania, Almost in New Jersey, but it just is like, wow, I'm just like in the middle of the trail, in the middle of the forest, in the middle of Pennsylvania. Look at these rocks. So what do you mean by the rocks? This is what I mean by the rocks. So many rocks. Okay, is this the knife's edge? I think it might be. This rocky slant. Oi! Wow, look at this. Whoa! Wow, so beautiful. Wow! And the breeze feels so nice. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Okay. I think that's the end. But I haven't checked the map, so I don't know. It's like this is literally vertical. This rock. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna sit on this. Wow, look at this bird. I think it's just turkey vulture probably, but I'm gonna sit on this rock. Maybe if there's some shade. Okay, it's so slow going. It's like just about 2 miles an hour, so I've only gone 8.27 miles for the day, so yeah, maybe a little bit more because I think my watch started a little late from the shelter, but still. I'm on a little bit of a flat spot, so that's good because the rocks were long and a lot. Just hard on your feet to like have them like in every angle. Like I duct taped my feet to help with my blisters, and it feels like it's just like probably sliding off because of my feet being in crazy angles on those rocks. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes and how the mileage goes. I might just do a little less in the next few days and let that be okay. Whew, okay, I think I'm coming down Bake of Knob. Okay, I filled up water at the spring that was just south of the shelter. It wasn't too far down, but it was a really slow trickle. So I was just zoning out while I was filling up. But I have 8 miles to Lehigh Gap. So I think that the descent will be challenging, and then the climb out of Lehigh Gap will be challenging because I've only gone 10.3. So I'll climb up and out of Lehigh Gap and then still have a few miles to go. Quite a few, maybe another 8. So it's a slow day and it's going to be a late night. But I'm really thankful that if I just push through today and tomorrow, this is like the heart of the challenging rock. So, 2 hard days and then I'll get through it. Take it slow, steady, and just take breaks, but also just try to knock it out. And then when it's like this, where there's still rocks, but there's some flat spots for your feet, then I can just like push through. And yeah, and get to New Jersey by not tomorrow night technically, because I'll stay in Delaware Water Gap and cross over the bridge the day after. So yeah, just gotta push through these. It's really, really challenging section.
Took a little break, eating some sun chips. It's been 13, almost 14 miles. So, getting closer to Lehigh Gap, but it's really slow going. Okay, I'm taking another Blue Blaze. And this one's only maybe like 0.5 shorter. But if I can, look, it's still rocky. These rocks. Ah. Oh, yeah, so nice surprise because I'm not letting anyone shame me out of taking the Blue Blazes I want to take. So yeah, I didn't even realize this one, but I looked at the map, saw it here, and it looks like it's maybe like half a mile shorter or something. And honestly, I think my watch is going to track like well over 2,200 miles just on the AT alone because of all the off-trail stuff, you know, off-trail shelters, off-trail water, off-trail everything. So it's like cutting off a little bit here and there, I think is fine. So, yay! The other thing I decided is to have a short day. These rocks are, I don't know, just kind of getting to me emotionally. I had a really good break, you know, a really good break at Lookout today. So if the hostel that's in Lehigh Gap was full, I would have been okay emotionally to keep going. But I just felt like your feet, like my feet, need some TLC. So give them TLC before they get really bad. Because 2 weeks ago is when I had the short day because I jammed my toe. And now I like took care of them more at that break at the Lookout, but I don't know, I really want to try to soak them. Like soak them in some Epsom salt and take, maybe file down that callus, which is gross, but true. Okay, and just like that, I'm back on the AT. Ooh. Some of these shelters are so old. I put it on 0.5 view so you could see the whole thing while I was standing in front of it. Let's go back to normal. There we go. Okay, so just a mile down. Actually, less than a mile, like a mile until I get picked up. I'm gonna go down, I don't know, maybe half a mile, and then across a bridge. So I will be picked up in 1 mile. Okay, so I'm going across that bridge and then that bridge, and then there's a parking lot over there. And I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going. Last time I was here, someone like pulled over on the bridge. There just wasn't enough traffic. Like there wasn't too much traffic. And they were driving along the bridge and then they just pulled over and handed me a beer right out the window. And I was like, thanks. And I don't really drink, so I think I gave it to another hiker. But it was just a funny moment, you know? It's like, oh, trail magic just from someone to the side of their car. Okay. I think I climb right up that tomorrow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Whew. Okay, that was crazy. So basically I came around that bridge and then I walked on that side.
Okay, everybody, that is it for this
to
episode.
that
Thank you
light.
so much for watching.
And then I walked
hope you tune in
along
tomorrow.
this, and I'm here.
And I also want to say a huge thank you to my virtual trail angels who are supporting me over on Venmo, and all the trail angels that I've seen in person and who have reached out. All your friendly comments mean so much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.